We have had many conversations about addiction over the years. We've had many more about recovery. That's because recovery is a personal journey of hope, of purpose, and of growth. And today, we're focusing on the road to recovery from a gambling addiction. I'd like to introduce to you this afternoon our guests. With us this afternoon is Mary Drexler. She's the program director of the Maryland Center of Excellence on Problem Gambling, as well as Kenny Crawford, who's a peer recovery support specialist. Thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you here. Okay, so help us understand what gambling is and what problem gambling is and what it's not.
Well, gambling is when you money or anything of value that you're risking, but there's no foreseen consequence as to what you don't know if you're going to win or you're not going to win.
Okay.
Problem gambling is when that gambling activity begins to interfere with your daily life. So it creates issues with maybe your job, with relationships. You can't go a day without thinking about gambling, wanting to gamble more. About 90 to 95% of individuals can gamble and be able to do that recreational, but there is that 2 to 5% where it begins to become a problem, and some people actually diagnosed with a gambling addiction.
Okay, so how can the center help with that?
Well, the center has a lot of resources. Our mission is to promote healthy and informed decisions when you're dealing with gambling or problem gambling. So we do a lot of prevention activities out in the community to educate Maryland residents about the risks of problem gambling. We do public awareness. Right now we're running a statewide campaign from March to May to just let people know this is where you go for help.
And this is Gambling Addiction Awareness Month.
Yes, it is.
Well.
It's National Problem Gambling Awareness Month, and most states do what we're doing here in Maryland and do a lot of public awareness and education on the resources available to help.
Right. Kenny, I understand that you have a personal story to share. First off, let me start with thank you for sharing it, because I know sometimes that's got to be a little difficult, but tell me. What?
Okay, so I'm a peer support specialist, and what that basically means is I have lived experience.
Okay.
And so I actually have a dual disorder. I'm an alcoholic, recovering alcoholic, and I've gambled for years. And I also have a family member that's, that she's lost everything. And so you know, I grew up in that kind of environment. When I did recover from alcohol, my gambling really took off. I just basically traded one addiction to another. And where it had me, you know, I was playing probably 12 hours a day, 7 days straight.
Goodness.
And I did it for like 5 years straight.
Wow.
Until I got help.
So let me ask you this, Kenny, because I can't think of anybody better to answer the question. Are there red flags that family or we should?
Oh, yes. The lying, the hiding, you know, really the hiding part. There's such a stigma behind gambling, and it's hard to admit that you're losing. Yeah. You know, I kept on going until I was totally broke and basically homeless at one time.
Goodness. So then it's especially important to you for people to know there's help available.
Yeah, and we're very lucky at the Maryland Center because we have Kenny and 4 other individuals with lived experience who work across the state, and they're really influential in getting people who call our helpline can get warm transferred or transferred right to them, and they help them get to the help that they need.
Right. Kenny, the people you've talked to since you're a peer, have you seen that moment when they said, oh, you do get it?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I can empathize with them, and I know exactly what they're going through and that feeling of hopelessness. But what I try to do is you know, try to give them hope and try to motivate them to get help and that there is a better way of life.
Do you see that moment when they realize, oh my goodness, I can get out of this?
That's part of the reason why we do this as a peer, because it really helps us in our recovery to see somebody doing very good. And it's awesome feeling.
Okay, so help is free?
Help is free, confidential. The helpline is 24/7. 365 days a year, 1-800-GAMBLER for here in Maryland. So we encourage people to reach out for the help.
And I guess every bit as important as free is confidential.
Confidential.
Tell you what, Mary Drexler, Kenny Crawford, thank you so much for talking to us this afternoon.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
having us.
very much.